Waitress says, "Sir, that's my dad's signature." Billionaire CEO drops his glass in shock. The rain fell in soft, steady sheets against the windows of Le Jardin, an upscale restaurant nestled in the heart of the city. Inside, crystal chandeliers cast a golden glow over white linen tables and hushed conversations. Among the staff moving gracefully through the dining room was Clara, 24, in a crisp black uniform, her dark hair pulled back, eyes tired but kind. She worked double shifts to pay off her father's medical debt that had buried him long before his body was laid to rest. At table 7 sat Marcus Thorne, CEO of Thorne Industries, a man whose name graced skyscrapers and Forbes covers. Cold, calculating, and rarely seen outside boardrooms, he'd come alone tonight, brooding over a leather portfolio. Clara approached with practiced calm. "Good evening, sir. Can I start you with something to drink?" He barely looked up. "Sparkling water, and the filet mignon, medium rare." She nodded, jotting it down. As she reached for his menu, her eyes caught the open folder beside his plate. Legal documents, signatures, and then her breath stopped. There, in bold, looping cursive at the bottom of a contract, was a name she'd know anywhere. Daniel Reyes. Her father. Her hands trembled. "Sir, that's my dad's signature." Marcus froze. Slowly, he lifted his gaze. Confusion flickered across his sharp features, then disbelief, then something deeper. Recognition. "What did you say?" he asked, voice low. "Daniel Reyes," Clara whispered, tears welling. "He passed 2 years ago. That's his handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. He used to sign my school permission slips the same way, the little curl on the D, the way he dotted the I with a heart." Marcus stared at her. The glass of water in his hand slipped from his fingers and shattered on the floor with a sound like breaking ice. Silence fell over their corner of the restaurant. Clara stood rooted, heart pounding. Marcus exhaled sharply, then gestured to the empty chair across from him. "Sit." She hesitated, then obeyed. "I knew a Daniel Reyes 25 years ago. He was my best friend in college, brilliant engineer, full of dreams. We started a tech venture together, but I pushed him out. Over a disagreement, I took the company. He walked away with nothing." Clara's eyes widened. "He never told me that." "He was proud," Marcus said, voice thick. "Stubborn, too. After we parted ways, I heard he'd moved away, started a family. I tried to find him years later, but by then it was too late." Clara swallowed hard. "He worked 2 jobs after Mom died. Always said he'd had a big mistake in his youth he was paying for. I thought he meant gambling or debt. He never blamed anyone but himself." Marcus looked down at the signature again, his friend's hand, frozen in time. "I've carried guilt for decades," he admitted. "I built an empire on the foundation he helped lay, and I never gave him credit, never even said I was sorry." Tears spilled down Clara's cheeks. "He used to sketch inventions on napkins, said one day he'd build something that changed the world. But life got in the way." Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out a checkbook. Clara braced herself. Another rich man throwing money at a problem. But he didn't write a check. Instead, he slid a business card across the table. "Tomorrow morning, come to Thorne Tower. Ask for me directly. I want you to see something." The next morning, Clara stood nervously in the gleaming lobby of Thorne Industries. Marcus greeted her himself, leading her not to a boardroom, but to a quiet archive room. There, under glass, was a prototype, a sleek, solar-powered water purifier. On the blueprint, in that same familiar handwriting, D. Reyes, Concept and Design, 1998. This was your father's idea. I shelved it after our fallout, but last year I revived it. It's now deployed in over 30 developing countries. We call it Project Daniel. Clara touched the glass, sobbing quietly. Marcus placed a folder in her hands. I'm establishing a foundation in his name. Full scholarship fund for engineering students from underserved communities. And I'd like you to lead it. You know his heart better than anyone. But I'm just a waitress, she whispered. You're Daniel Reyes's daughter, he said firmly, and that makes you extraordinary. Over the next months, Clara transitioned from serving tables to shaping futures. Marcus, once distant and guarded, became a mentor and eventually a friend. He funded her education, supported her vision, and most importantly, honored her father's legacy not with money, but with truth. At the Foundation's inaugural gala, Clara stood beside Marcus as they unveiled a bronze plaque in memory of Daniel Reyes, dreamer, father, and unsung pioneer. Later that night, as city lights shimmered below, Marcus turned to her. Thank you, he said, for giving me a second chance to do right by him. Clara smiled through tears. He'd forgive you, you know. He always believed people could change. And in that moment, two broken souls, bound by regret and redemption, found healing, not in the past, but in the future they were building together. If you believe in kindness and second chance, please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Storytells for more emotional stories. Your support helps us spread hope to millions. Thanks for watching.